Astral Chain was my game of the year 2019. It's a game that I didn't know I wanted so much until I finally played it myself. All of the stylish futuristic design, animations, art, level and area designs, and the dynamic soundtrack, and how much I enjoy the combat, especially the post-game missions, non-interrupted hardcore segments of pure action. Everything combined is a pure delight to me. The game is not perfect by any means, but for me it almost is. There is a lot of replayability in this game for me, which is another reason why I should love it. Astral Chain is set in the year 2078, where humanity is on the brink of extinction. The remnants of the human populace have retreated to a mega city called the Ark, which rests on a massive artificial island. The world is under attack by interdimensional lifeforms called chimeras, which reside in the astral plane, a vast parallel dimension composed of crystallized data that is uninhabitable to humans. The chimeras cause destruction, drag civilians into the astral plane via wormholes, and spread red matter that corrupts living things and humans. To combat the chimeras, the Neuron Police Task Force is employed. They utilize lesions, chimeras that have been tethered to an officer via a psychic chain, utilizing them for combat and investigation. You take the role of one of two twin police officers who join Neuron early into the game as new recruits. Your selected character has a custom identity, whereas their opposite gender sibling becomes Akira Howard. The two twins were adopted by the current Neuron captain, Maximilian Howard. It's a shame that the character you choose to control has basically no voice or reactions in main story cutscenes, but your sibling and everyone else does. It's not like the main character will be completely silent though, but they will mostly react with reaction noises or acting surprised for the most part. Where the main character will shine is in battle. Calling in your legion, syncing attacks with it, using style all over the place, and reacting to pain as you fight against challenging foes. The development of Astral Chain preceded the release of Nier Automata, with Platinum Games estimating that the game had been in the works for roughly 5 years between its conceptualizing and eventual release. With the assistance of former Scalebound and Platinum Games producer Jean-Pierre Kelams, the game was pitched to Nintendo after the company requested the development of a new game with high difficulty. Despite comparisons to Scalebound's dual character gameplay, Platinum Games producer Atsushi Inaba has explained that the two games are very different in concept, and sees Astral Chain as an evolution of their previous action games. Internally, the company refers to the game as a synergetic action game. Takahisa Taura was appointed as director due to his previous work on Nier Automata, and the company's belief that they need to foster multiple directors that can bring a different flavor for each of their individual projects. Astral Chain was initially envisioned as a fantasy game where the main character will use magic. However, at Nintendo's recommendation, the game was changed to a cyberpunk setting, as they felt it would make for a more unique setting, which happens to also be one of my favorite subgenres. Taura explained that the game's setting was inspired by various anime, such as Ghost in the Shell, Psycho Pass, Akira, and Appleseed, as well as the works of Masakazu Katsura, who was hired to be the game's character designer. While the ability to play as male or female was always intended as an option for the game, in the project's early stages the game did not feature twin protagonists. The decision to make twin protagonists came about from ideas based on Katsura's concept sketches for the protagonist. The inclusion of character customization was also done to help the player immerse themselves into the world. The gameplay of Astral Chain is designed around controlling two characters at once, which Taura has said comprises the core of the game itself. Comparing it to the way the Wicked Whip's ability is the core of Bayonetta, the developers also took plenty of inspiration from Live or Rabble with the dual character concept. World building was considered important during development. The developers wanted to showcase the police performing day-to-day tasks and services beyond crime fighting, and built an expanded cast around such to accommodate. Taura noted that the main difference in approach compared to Platinum Games' work on Nier Automata was that Astral Chain had its scenario built around the gameplay rather than the other way around. The score for Astral Chain was primarily written and produced by Satoshi Igarashi, who previously worked on Bayonetta 2. Igarashi revealed that the background music will change genres depending on the mood of the scene. For example, dramatic scenes will use orchestral music, scenes with more tension will start to use more metal music, and the calm scenes are more likely to use electronic music. And it's as stupendous and mind-blowing as it was in Nier Automata, where we had dynamic tracks depending on the situation, like when we were in the field, in the menu, or hacking an enemy. Nintendo proposed to Platinum Games the idea of partnering with Avex Group to acquire vocalists for the game's theme songs. William Aoyama of the Japanese pop group Intersection and Beverly, who performed the theme song for the 2019 anime adaptation of Fruits Basket, were ultimately picked by Igarashi and Taura to perform vocals on 3 separate theme songs. The decision of hiring 2 vocalists was made to represent the game's dual protagonist. The opening theme song, called Savior, plays during the game's opening sequence, which Taura requested be made as an anime opening. Dark Hero serves as a featured song within the game, and The Answer acts as the ending theme song. The battle system in this game is tons of fun, featuring a perfect dodge system where if you manage to pull it at the right timing, you enter slow motion, allowing you to immediately counterattack. Everything feels very satisfying, from combos to waiting the right moment to power with your Legion, or using the Astral Chain to bind your enemies and unleash special badass combination attacks with your Legion. The animations each Legion got when they attack are also amazing, and so are the sound effects. Everything is just great. Legions got lots of unique skills that you will want to use situationally or as often as you can, but you will want to carefully use them, or else their energy will run out and you will be at a disadvantage until you can recall it. The game wants you to be quick and switch and recall Legions smartly, which might sound overwhelming when you hit all of them, but it's not as complicated as it seems, and once you hit how it all works, it feels amazing. Each Legion also features their own personal skill tree to increase stats and ability slots and make them even more powerful. There is also a system that grades your performance in combat by giving you a letter grade from D to S. However, this system does not account for damage taken, which makes hitting rank S+ too easy. I got no complaints about the battle system apart from the camera being a bit problematic at times in close quarters, and not being as responsive as I expect when following a locked target sometimes. According to howlongtobeat.com, it takes only 20.5 hours to finish the main story, 28 hours to finish the main story and extras, and finally 77 hours if you're a completionist. The story ain't great or particularly interesting, but if you enjoy games like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, improving to have better combos, and want lots of adrenaline-fueled action, this is definitely for you. Bonus points if you like the idea of being a cool police officer that also helps people out, protects them, cleans the streets from litter, and appreciates cyberpunk settings as much as I do. There's also a lot of hilarious stuff in the game's side quest. Some of its characters are also quite funny, and there is even vending machines with different personalities.
It's not like I care what drink you want or anything.
Yes, there is a tsundere vending machine among them, and it's not like she cares or anything, but she's my favorite vending machine. Oh, and this is Lappy, the very cute and funny mascot of the game. Lappy is the enthusiastic and encouraging mascot of the Ark Police. His goal in Neuron is to spread happiness and positivity to all members. He also likes to hand out balloons. The game also features a photo mode and the ability to tweak or disable modules of the HUD as you like, allowing you to freely customize it all for more immersion whenever you would like. And speaking of, you can also change the way you look, including your character design, hairstyle, eye and skin color, whenever you like, as long as you visit the locker room at Neuron HQ. Another cool thing you can do is visit the training room to practice and master the game's combat and mechanics with many different challenges and patterns. Closing up, what I didn't enjoy for the most part includes the Astral Chain sections, which include many puzzles and can feel very repetitive. The story not being particularly interesting, along with the MC not talking, is a shame, and when our sibling does talk, he or she will sound like a crybaby 100% of the times, which doesn't help much either.
I told you, I could have dealt with that myself. Why'd you have to play hero like that? I'm Dad's kid, just like you are. I don't need any help killing chimeras. I don't even need a legion to hide behind. I'll show you. If I can't take a chimera myself, what's the point of even living?
Some may say the investigations and side quests aren't engaging either, but I think they were fine as a way to get to know the world and the people living in it, so that is not bad in my opinion. It could just be a bit better. One of the big things to consider is that, at least for me, playing this game with Joy-Cons is not optimal. There is a huge difference if you play on the Pro Controller or anything similar to it. Everything just feels better. Oh, and if the game not running at 60 FPS is a problem for you, it's locked at 30 FPS at all times. I have no issues with it so far, especially when the game looks and runs as well as it does. Anyways, that is all for this review. Thank you very much for watching until the end. What do you think about the game? I would like to hear your thoughts on the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like the video if you liked it, or dislike it if you didn't like it. And subscribe to see more videos in the future. See ya, have a good day.